Hey and welcome to Dune Awakening with Aragon. So you may have, like me, gotten sick and tired of crafting bandages. Normally there's no real other way to actually heal up in this game. There's no real passive heal. Sure, there's a slight amount. It takes forever to actually happen, a whopping 15 seconds later, and then you only get to a third of your health. What I want to show you here is how you can heal up over half your health and do it within about 4 seconds after you've taken that damage. You can see we're now up to 103 out of 205 maximum health. When running PvE content, Haga Basin, some areas in the deep desert, you'd be totally fine running at that level. And this allows you to completely not have to bother gathering that plant fiber to always have to craft these heal kits. Of course, you will still want to do so if you're running into PvP or you're running into maybe a tier 6 dungeon that you don't have such a great build to fight against. But let's show you how all this works and what's required. Well, jumping to the skills, you need 2 passives, Vitality and Recovery. You can potentially use self-healing, but not that important. And then you need 2 techniques, Trauma Recovery and Thrive on Danger. This actually works better than expected. Now normally you will run around at 150 max health. You can very simply boost that by 55 through the Vitality passive. It's pretty huge. Literally anybody should have this, getting you to a 205 max health. From there we look at how can you regen your health back so quickly. This only takes 4.5 seconds and you already start regenning that health back pretty swiftly too. Now back to 103 after we just took damage moments ago. Well, this is through Thrive on Danger. This minus 75% health regen delay in fact works all the time, not when you drop to a certain low amount of health. Normally the other benefits only trigger when you're below 25% of your health, which is when you're critically injured. You will see that here, it triggers with that little green buff, and then you will 4.5 seconds later get that health regen. But that little buff gives you then a nice reduction to stamina costs, increased health regen, and reduced poise damage. That means you can take more damage before you get staggered. They recently nerfed it down to 34% from 50% though. But this health regen delay is pretty huge, massively reducing the time that it actually takes you to regain that health, to start healing back up. And you can see a bit of the numbers here. I took some rough tests and it took 16 seconds normally, and with Thrive on Danger, only 4.5 seconds to start healing back up. It's pretty huge. And when you're critically injured, that's again when you're 25% of your max health. So for us here at over 205 health, this is going to be just over 50 of your max health. As soon as you get under that, that's when the other effects of this, like the stamina and the reduced poise damage effects, happen. But now we want to look at how do you heal back so much more than you normally would. How do we get back to 103, which is over half of our hit points? Well, this comes from the Bandages, Recovery and Trauma Recovery. These give you a healing regen limit, and that increases the amount you're going to passively heal to. So you gain 20% here and another 30% here. What this effectively does is changes the usual 33% of your max health, which would be, if I have 205 max health, 68. When we max this recovery passive, we now passively heal to about 82. And then with the trauma recovery, we max that out and slot that here, we passively heal to 103. All these values get rounded up for some reason in the game. I guess just for simplicity's sake. So all of this combined allows you to passively heal more than half your hit points and just after 4.5 seconds of taking damage. Just be aware, if you continually take damage, that self-healing is not going to kick in. So you do either have to kill your enemies quickly or take a step back behind cover for a moment. But yes, I found this to be really impactful and just saves you a ton of hassle of otherwise needing to craft those bandages all the time and then actually have to use them. So again, this comprises of thrive on danger, recovery, trauma recovery, and vitality. You can also take self-healing, and that will allow you to heal a little bit faster back to full, at least back to that regen limit. Even if you're somebody who is happy to go and craft loads of bandages and just stockpile them for as many as you'll ever need, these perks are still hugely beneficial. Just to immediately start that regen, heal up half of your hit points, and then be able to use some bandages to quickly top that off. And you can use field medicine to make those bandages give a little bit more of a boost as well. Now, to gain access to all these skills and max them out, you will of course need to level up and unlock the Bene Gesserit quest line and also the Swordmaster quest line. I'll leave links in the video description below. These guides go over it pretty admirably, and you shouldn't have too much trouble to find everything and to follow the paths to max out and unlock, getting you all those skills. However, I would always prioritize the planetologist, getting those reductions to vehicle repair and mining boosts. So once again, a special thank you to all these channel members for your added support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.